What up, you guys? Welcome back to the Quick Catch Release YouTube channel. Today's video, I got 3 things that you need to catch a trophy catfish. 3 things. And we'll go over all of it once I go over what I'm using today. Bluegill, freshly caught. I'm gonna stick him right in the head. Yeah, we're gonna use him whole. And I'm just gonna cut his tail off so he'll bleed a little bit. Let me go ahead and do that. That's what we got for bait. So let me throw him out real fast and we'll get to those things that you need. I've never seen a bluegill fly, but there you go. All right, guys, we got 2 rods out. Mike's got a rod out. Mike's with me today, by the way. He's right down there on the bank. Shout out to Mike. He's catching us bluegill. Without him, well, we wouldn't have a catfishing video. That's one of the untold truths right there, is that you need freaking bait to catch catfish, and if you don't have bait, you can't catch fish. It's crazy. So guys, really, you need 3 things, to happen to catch big catfish. Well, not necessarily, but from my experience, disclaimer, from my experience, I've noticed you need 3 things to catch really, really big catfish. And the first thing is current. You need current to catch big catfish. You might be sitting back and you're like, well, no crap. No crap. Of course you need current. But I'm gonna give you some reasons why. The current itself is the heartbeat of the river. If you're fishing a river and it has no current, it's not a river, it's a lake. The current is what gives fish the motive to move, eat, all that other junk. And there's reasons behind that. We'll go over that too. When the current's up, it pushes bait, small bait, microorganisms on the side of the river. Because those small bait fish cannot swim against that current. They just can't. If they do, they'll die. They'll lose all their energy and just die. So when that current is blowing, when it's blowing downriver, and I mean blowing, it's ripping. It's pushing all these bait fish up to the shallows. It's pushing all this microorganisms up in the shallows. And that creates a chain reaction among fish. You got those small organisms getting eaten by small fish, and medium fish, then your catfish. And then really the trophy size catfish. They'll come in there and they'll eat. That's when the big fish come. Shallows when the current's up. But to catch a trophy catfish, you gotta have 2 other things as well. But not to change the subject, with current creates eddies. It creates current seams. What is that? It's where slack water and fast water meet each other. That creates eddy. Those big fish will sit in that slow water and just kind of sit there, all fat and everything, waiting for another fish to come by and eat. So, well, with a current seam, there's a rock. The current's hitting it. Say the rock's sticking out of the water. The current's hitting it, and it's coming around that rock. Those catfish will sit on the backside of that rock and pick off fish. That's why bridges are good, because fish will sit on the backside of a bridge pile or a bridge pillar, and when something comes by, they'll eat it. So you need current. You need current because it puts fish in predictable locations, basically. And it also provides food and a variety of things to them. The second thing you're gonna need is the right water temperature. You can catch a monster catfish any time of the freaking year. But to increase your chances, you're gonna need the right water temperatures. What is that? That is spring, early winter, late spring. That mid area is from this, 60 degrees until 70 degrees. In my opinion, is one of the best times to catch catfish. That's when something clicks in their head where they're like, I need to eat as much as I can so I can get ready to have babies and spawn and do all that wildlife junk. So you need the right water temperatures. When the right water temperatures hit, you'll know, because the fish will be everywhere. And when they're everywhere, big catfish are everywhere. Catfish in general, blue catfish are movers. They'll move any time of year up and down the river, but especially during that time of year where the water temperature is between 60 and 70, they'll be moving, and not only moving, they'll be eating all the time. They will just gorge themselves up with food. So you need that to happen. And the third thing that you guys are going to need is a channel ledge. And not necessarily a channel edge, but shallow water next to extremely deep water. And that's a generalization, but for example, 20 foot of water next to an 80 foot, 100 foot hole, 100 foot drop off. You need that. What does that provide? That ledge, that slope provides structure. Now, if you can find a slope like that with rocks at the bottom or rocks in the middle, structure, some type of structure, that's a golden ticket for a big fish. Now, if it's just a sandy bank and it's all sand from top to bottom, from 20 foot to 80, that's fine too, because that ledge is structure already. All right, those fish, for one, they can easily go from A to B if they want to go from deep to shallow to feed, or they can sit on it like a piece of structure. They can sit on that slope and just hang out there. Another thing is to water temp. If the water temp is, let's say it's super cold, or they're just uncomfortable. Let's use that word. If they're uncomfortable in the deep water, they can easily move up the water column super easily. So that's why you want to be in areas like that. Now, I'm not saying you can't go to somewhere super shallow and catch a giant fish, and I'm not saying you can't go somewhere in the middle of nowhere and, 80 foot of water and catch a giant fish. You can, but with those three combinations, if you got the right water temp, you got the right current, and you're fishing in the right area on a ledge, that is a mixture for a giant catfish. It just is. There's no rhyme or reason, but if you got those three things, you can probably catch a big fish, especially if it's springtime. If it's springtime, more than likely, you're probably going to catch a big fish. That's just the way it is. And at any moment, we could catch a fish. You just don't know. I mean, we could catch a big one. We could catch a little one. We could catch a 90 pounder. We could catch a 100 pounder. We could catch a 2 pounder. It doesn't matter. But we're out here. We're fishing on a ledge. The current is high. Now, the water temp is not the right temp, but I don't know. I mean, you catch anything. It's almost Christmas. So it's just one of those things where you got to sit, you got to wait, and see if you can catch a fish. Now, if you have 2 out of those 3 things, you may have a good chance of catching a fish. But at the end of the day, it is fishing. But if you follow those 3 tips, more than likely, you're gonna hook up with a monster. If you don't think so, if you don't agree with me, leave down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to read the comments and, well, share your insight, share your opinion, so everybody can know how to catch big catfish, because that's what this video is about. All right, I'm gonna stop blabbering my mouth, and maybe we can catch fish. Maybe we can. I don't know. These dang catfish got me out here eating hot Cheetos, guys. It's that cold where I'm eating hot Cheetos trying to stay warm. What is it coming to? What is this world coming to, Mike? Oh, I got 22 pairs of clothes on, and Mike's over here in jeans and a hoodie. I'm eating hot Cheetos too, trying to stay warm. Look at that dumb. Look at that idiot. We're going right over our base, man. What a guy. Oh, I love bass fishermen. What a
bass hole. Bass holes. That's what they are. Bass holes.
I knew I was videoing just in time to catch something stupid. I will say this. These hot Cheetos are keeping me pretty warm. What is it?
I don't know.
Is it big?
Big old drum. I thought it was hung.
Well,
what size line you got?
It's like 6. I'd be careful. I got a net though, dude.
I thought it was hung. And I thought it was.
Well, it's a fishing video now.
That's right.
Oh.
I thought it was a tree. I was hoping it was a crappie.
Yeah, Mike was fishing with a jig, and he thought he hooked into a tree, and I said, all right, break it off, and
yeah.
The tree started fighting back.
Yeah, the tree pulled back, y'all. I was like, what the crap? Hold right now. charge it too. That's insane.
He's a big fish too, and he didn't do nothing. And that's light line.
I know. 6 pound, like he didn't pull drag at all.
Let's
Like
go.
literally, he pulled into the line, and then he just quit fighting.
I thought we were about to get skunked, guys, but here, Mike over here. Now we're catfishing, but sometimes catfishing,
You got to catch bait,
yeah, you catch bait, or
and that's what we were doing, was bait fishing, and then this ugly fish right here bit. That thing's got a face only a mother could love.
a big stupid drum. I don't even think a mother would love that. He got like a wart on his lip or something, guys. I don't know what that was. He's.
I'm gonna let you go, Goofy.
It's all right, guys. He'll make it back into that water.
I'm not stepping in there, buddy. That water's cold.
I'll poke him. Poke.
I mean, there wasn't nothing quick about that release, but he's swimming off.
Guys, if you haven't noticed yet, we're in a different spot. You know why? Because we weren't catching no fish. That's another tip for you guys. If you ain't catching fish, get your butt up and go look for some. Now, I don't know if we'll catch anything right here, man. I mean, we got one fish, so at least you saw something get caught today, didn't you? But since you guys stuck around a little bit longer, I guess I'll give you some more tips. We were fishing deep water earlier, probably like 90 foot. Didn't catch nothing. So we moved into a little bit shallower area, probably around 20 to 40 foot, maybe 50 at most. And what we're doing, we're working the water column. What is that, Randall? Well, what that is we're just fishing different types of levels in the water to see where the fish are at. Sometimes they're in the deep end, sometimes they're in the middle, and sometimes they're shallow. Fish are crazy. Fish are weird. Fish are animals. I don't know what they're gonna do, so we gotta go out here and we gotta experiment. Experiment is what I'm saying. Try different things. Don't fish the same spot every single time you go. Try different things. Because if you're not catching fish, more than likely the fish just aren't there if you have all the right materials and baits. So go where the fish are at, and you'll probably catch fish, okay? If you have to use smaller baits to cast out farther, do that. Whatever it takes, moving spots, using different baits, do something different because you're not doing something right. So it's kind of this rinse and wash repeat type deal where you're just trying to figure out where they're at. And right now, they weren't over there, they weren't over there, so they might be right here. And if they ain't right here, then we got to go somewhere else because they just ain't here. So needless to say, let's get back to fishing. Well, guys, we didn't catch nothing. Well, Mike caught something.
I caught a dumb drum.
Mike caught a drum. Look, this is a fishing channel, so as long as we caught something, man.
Yeah.
We got a fish. It's a fishing video. Everything's right in the world, okay? But make sure to use those 3 tips: current, ledges, and temperature. Look at those. Look at those. Take those in consideration. Today, we didn't do nothing right. Okay, we didn't have nothing. Well, now the battery's dying. See? Nothing's right in the world. The battery died too. I mean, it's just one of those days, guys. Well, one of those days.
Oops, YouTubers.
That's just how it is sometimes. You can have 2 of those things right and not catch nothing, or 1 of those things right and not catch nothing. Heck, you can have both of them, or 1 of them, or all of them, and still catch nothing. Or you can catch everything. There's a fish jumped out right in front of us. What I'm saying is, go fishing, guys. Use these tips, and I hope you catch a giant. As always, peace, love, God bless, and fish on, my friends.